So welcome everyone. Thank you. My name is Larissa Charnsangave, and I am the Director for Student Life in the Graduate Division. As you all probably heard, we are recording this town hall and closed captioning is being provided. So you should be able to start the live transcript by changing your Zoom settings at the bottom of your screen. So I also want to take the opportunity to offer a land acknowledgement. We recognize that UC Berkeley sits on the unceded territory of the Huichin, the original landscape of the Chichenyo-speaking Ohlone people, the successors of the sovereign Verona Band of Alameda County. As members of the Berkeley community who continue to benefit from the occupation and use of this land, it is vitally important that we not only recognize the history of the land on which we stand, but also we recognize that the Muwekma Ohlone people are alive and flourishing members of the Berkeley and broader Bay Area communities today. If you are joining us from outside the broader Bay Area, you can learn more about the Indigenous history of your location at this website, which we are sharing in the chat as well. And thank you to Native American Student Development for the help with crafting this, this statement. So we are joined today by a number of panelists. And so I'd like to take a moment and just sort of like introduce everyone we've got, and then we'll turn it over for opening remarks. So we are joined today by Dr. Elisa García Bedolla, who is the Vice Provost for Graduate Studies and Dean of the Graduate Division, Dr. Amy Honigman, the Graduate Wellness Specialist and Co-Supervisor of our Graduate Peer Support Providers, Dr. Kate Perry, Program Coordinator in the School Psychology Program, and also supervises the Graduate Peer Support Providers. We also have Dr. Peter Cornish, Director of Counseling and Psychological Services over at University Health Services. And we have our team of peer support providers who are all PhD students and candidates in the Graduate School of Education. So we have Sherry Aronson, Nicole Faraci, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, Michaela Jones, Julissa Navas, and Cynthia Valencia Ayala. So thank you all for being here. We're really excited, particularly to have the peer support providers here and providing support for our graduate community. And so they'll be speaking more about their role, their training, and what kind of services they can help with. So at this point, I think I will actually turn it over to Lisa.
Thank you, Larissa. Welcome, everyone. As Larissa said, my name is Lisa García Bedolla. I serve as Vice Provost for Graduate Studies and Dean of the Graduate Division. What that means is that I am responsible for graduate education on campus, so taking care of all of our over 13,000 graduate students, and also running the Graduate Division, which provides services to graduate students. We're located on the 3rd and 4th floors of Sproul Hall, in case you haven't visited us yet, and include admissions. So when you applied, fellowships, degrees, so the folks that keep track of all your milestones. We also have our GSI Teaching and Resource Center, which provides support to GSI teaching, Grad Pro, which is Graduate Professional Development, the Graduate Writing Center, and then the Office for Graduate Diversity, which provides programming and support to underrepresented students and works to improve our campus climate. So if you want to learn more about what we do, just go to grad.berkeley.edu. I wanted to start by just thanking you for being here. It's a crazy time of year. I know we're all really tired, so we appreciate you taking the time to be with us this afternoon. I'd also like to thank Larissa, Aaron Brooks, and Denise Clarequist for all the work they've done putting this town hall together. And I also want to give my appreciation to all of our guests for taking the time to be with us. I know it's been a very challenging semester. That's why we wanted this semester's town hall to focus on student overall wellness in order to make certain that you know about all the resources that are available to support you now and into the future. One of the challenges at Berkeley is just knowing what resources are available. And that's one of the reasons we're so excited to be launching this peer support provider program, because one of the things that they're being trained to do is to help you navigate and access the different resources that you might need while you are a student here. And since I became dean in 2019, I have been trying to lift up the importance of student wellness. And that has only become more important during the pandemic and as we've managed this transitional semester. And so today you're going to hear from some great people on campus who work hard every day to support graduate student wellness. And I want to make sure you know that Graduate Division is here for you as well. So Larissa, again, our Director of Student Life, she has open office hours you can sign up for, and I do as well, at least monthly. Please don't hesitate to sign up. You can just take a 15-minute block and talk to either one of us about anything that's troubling you. And again, go to grad.berkeley.edu if you want to learn more about the different programs that we offer, the different kinds of supports that we offer. We appreciate your department is your first go-to, but we want to make sure you know that Graduate Division is here to help. And with that, I'll turn it back to Larissa.
Thanks. So we do have some a presentation planned. We are going to hear from our panelists to get updates about some of their roles, and then we'll also hear from the PSPs as well. We will have an opportunity for Q&A, both pre-submitted questions and if anything comes up. If you have a question for one of our panelists, to start with, you can raise your hand virtually via Zoom. That's under the reactions tab. Or if you want to ask anonymously, you can message the hosts and co-hosts, and that'll just come to me and Erin. And then we can ask on your behalf. So that is how we will run the Q&A. But before we start the questions, I'll pass it over to our panelists to introduce themselves again.
So would you like me to start?
Yes, Amy, why don't you start? Thank you.
I'm happy to. So hello, I'm Amy Honigman, and I'm a senior clinical psychologist with Counseling and Psych Services. And my role is as the Graduate Assembly Wellness Specialist, which means that I am housed in the Graduate Assembly Suite in Eshelman Hall. And the logic behind that was so that when we were meeting in person, and hopefully sooner than later we'll go back to that, graduate students would not have to be sitting in the waiting room at the counseling center down at Tang, running into undergrads that they might be GSIing for, which could be an awkward situation. So the wisdom of the GA decided, let's house a counselor in the suite and let's provide wellness services for graduate students, which fortunately I have been doing for several years now. And I'm really quite honored to be able to do this because I think that since it's a quarter of the population, graduate students really do deserve special recognition, not only because of the numbers, but because you all have different issues in undergrads. And that's oftentimes forgotten about, how different your lives are and the type of roles you play in academia as well as professional schools. And there are certain needs that just are different that we should be addressing and helping provide support for. So I not only do one-on-one counseling and couples for graduate students, but one of my favorite things to do is to go out across campus and give talks on graduate student mental health. And I really want to emphasize the health part and wellness. And when I think about wellness, for me, it isn't just about going and getting a massage, but it's really about giving yourself permission and how you want to take care of yourself. Because graduate school is tough. If it was easy, anybody could do it, right? So it's going to be a difficult process for people. How do we go about it in a way that kind of rejuvenates us and makes us feel more positive about the process? And that's kind of tricky at times. But thinking about being proactive in terms of your mental health is really important. Thinking about the things that could stress you is really important. So I like to go across campus and give talks about that. I also really love to go do faculty training for departments on their graduate student mental health and getting faculty to think about how they can be more supportive and interactive with their graduate students. And I'm also really honored to run a group called From Self-Criticism to Kindness. Anybody here ever get self-critical? Yeah. So how do we do that? How do we take a kind of a kinder approach with ourselves when we're going through difficulty? And that's one of my favorite groups to offer through Tang. But I'm also really pleased that this year we're offering the peer support providers with the graduate students from education department, and I'm really honored again to work with Kate Perry and the PSPs to be able to provide this service for graduate students, which is a bit different than what we offer at CAPS. So there's lots of great things that I think are really available, and I do think one of the problems that we've had is kind of does the left hand know what the right hand's doing, and how do you all find access to that? So I'm really glad for any of you that have come today to learn about this, but also to spread the word to other people so that you're informed and you can help inform other people. So that's my gig. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy. I think I am next. So my name is Peter Cornish. I'm use he, him pronouns, and I am the Director of Counseling and Psychological Services. What we're in the very beginning of is a major transformation of mental health programming on this campus. I've been involved internationally with work to totally shift the paradigm of mental health care that has really been quite a disaster just about everywhere. People are not getting care when they need it, and in some cases we've actually we've invested in only one type of programming or two, psychiatry and psychotherapy. And I'm delighted to be at this meeting and can't wait to hear from the peer support providers, because this is a huge gap area that really needs to be developed so that we don't over pathologize stress and mental health concerns. And we have lots of other items at the buffet for your wellness beyond counseling and psychotherapy. The reason that wait times are so long, and the reason that we're not able to give multiple sessions to as many people as we would like, is because we're actually giving sessions to people who don't need them, because we don't have anything else for the people that don't need counseling and psychotherapy. And I would be the first person as a psychologist to say, the emperor has no clothes. We've actually overpromised and suggested that there's something magical about seeing a therapist and a psychiatrist that frankly just isn't true. It's a good service. Everybody likes it. It's helpful. And I'm not saying it doesn't help transform people's lives. What I am saying is that we really need to invest in a lot more. We all have the capacity to be part of the solution and to help each other, but we don't have the tools or the structure. So I know I don't have a lot of time, but I want to share just, if I can, just a graphic that gives you a big picture view of what this new model, which we call Step Care 2.0, is about. And it's a busy graphic, but the point is that there's a lot of other things that we can build out in our buffet that hasn't been built out. And when you build that out, 80% of people who are looking to work on their mental health, and we found out when we've implemented elsewhere, 80% of people are not looking for ongoing or multiple sessions of counseling when you build it out. We haven't built it out yet. There's still a few. We're just at the early stages. Kate, I heard from you by email and from some of the peer support staff that indicated that it was very confusing on our website. How do you get access? And we're really in a co-design mode now, so that feedback is very helpful. What we have right now is same-day access, more or less, to care. There's a few misses on that. We've moved from a 12-day wait to a 1.67 or 1.6-day wait for access. It doesn't matter how severe your concerns are, you can get more immediate access. But we haven't built out all the pieces in the buffet. In fact, you are. So the peer support is huge, and it doesn't just live necessarily at that level. At step 3, we're actually going to integrate step it into step 9, a new program, mobile crisis, compassionate mobile crisis service that is going to be up and running in about 10 months. We won't have the peer support workforce in there on day 1, but suffice it to say, students will be a big part of that. And the last thing I want to say is that we know from research on what contributes to recovery and well-being, it's not so much getting help, it's giving help. When everybody, no matter what their life circumstances are, need to be able to find a way or feel that they're contributing. And so people with severe pathology often don't think they have anything to offer anyone else. And they do. And in fact, it contributes to recovery if we empower and set up structures that allow everyone to contribute. Now, you may not have a lot of time and people have different gifts that they can give, but we really want to bring a culture and a system in place that allows that to happen.
Thank you. And then Kate.
Okay, excellent. So I'm so pleased to be here today and really happy to talk about this new program that we've developed. The collaboration thus far with Amy and Peter has been excellent. And the peer support provider program really does represent a wellness initiative. And as a director of a school psychology program, I'm really excited to see that on campus, there's the beginnings of a tiered systems of support that really runs the full range of clinical service to wellness for graduate students. So the peer provider program is built really on an education model that we think very nicely complements the clinical model that CAPS provides and those more intensive services. And one of the main things that we hope this program can do is provide the kind of help that graduate students need in order to prevent a challenge or an issue from becoming a really more serious problem that's then going to go on to really interfere with their graduate school experience. So the peer support provider program is making available a helpful peer who can be kind of a first point of contact for graduate students who are seeking support for dealing with an issue, or who maybe just want to get more out of their graduate school experience here at Berkeley, and they're just not quite sure how to do that. So as graduate students themselves, the beauty is that the peer support providers, they bring this unique insight and this empathy because they're really having, in a lot of ways, the same, but not identical lived experience of being a graduate student. They're also great listeners and great thought partners. So the peer support providers themselves are going to say a lot more about what they do, but in brief, the goal is really for them to provide two main things. One is to connect students to the vast array of resources that's available on campus. So Berkeley is a really large place, and there are really a number of things going on that can just be kind of hard to find, especially if you're feeling frustrated or dealing with an issue. Connecting students by providing support and also real-time navigation. So being somebody who can meet with another student and jump on a website together or start filling out an online form. Those things cannot sometimes be easy to do. And then the other thing is to really guide students in thinking through what is the next step that might be appropriate given whatever the unique situation is. So we are currently offering 15 hours of support each week in the form of 20-minute meetings or sessions that are offered all 5 days of the week at hours that we hope are convenient. But if they're not, that is certainly something that we would love to hear because, again, we are building this program. This is a first time for all of us. So we want to find ways to maximize its effectiveness. We also have some plans to offer some psychoeducational workshops in the spring. We would also love to hear from graduate students about what kind of topics might be of interest. Right now, we're thinking about topics like learning disabilities, ADHD, organization and time management, but feel free to put in the chat any ideas you might have. So at this point, I will turn it over to our peer support providers. They are going to introduce themselves and they will each take a turn sharing some information about the program. So someone will talk about logistics, for example, how to sign up for a session, what kind of support peer support providers are equipped to provide, and what kind of support they're not equipped to provide, the range of resources that can be explored, and finally, what they find exciting and special about this opportunity to provide peer-to-peer support. And I have seen that we have at least 3 of our peer support providers together in one room. So, oh, and it's 4.
Yeah, so I'll just introduce ourselves first. My name is Michaela. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a 3rd year in this school psych program, and I'm really excited to get to know you all. I'm to engage during the town hall.
Yeah, and hi, I'm Jaleesa. I'm also a 3rd year school psych student, and I'm also just really excited to kind of discuss a bit more about what the peer support providers do.
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Nikki. I use she, her pronouns. I'm also a 3rd year school psychology student here in the GSC, and I'm excited to meet you all. Come by.
Hi everyone, my name is Sherry. I also use she, her pronouns, and I'm also a 3rd year in our school psych program. And I'm going to start us off by sharing my screen. Also, I'm toggling between 2 screens here, so if you see me disappear, I'm still here. So I am going to show you to begin how to set up an appointment with us. So Kate did a really good job introducing what we do. And if you do want to find out some more information about what we do and do not offer, our website, which I will type into the chat after we finish presenting, is a great place to start to look. We have some areas that we're not equipped to provide support in, and we provided some links on our website here as to how you can access support that way. And if you scroll towards the bottom of the page, you'll see the PSP chat session scheduling page. So when you click that, hopefully my screen stays sharing. Great. So when you click that, you will be able to see, if I scroll to the next week's appointments, a kind of jumbled list of many appointments available. Like Kate said, we have 15 hours of appointments. Each appointment will be around 20 minutes in length. And so when you go to sign up for an appointment, let's say you sign up this day, a box will pop up that will allow you to type in whether or not you would like to meet in person. And our in-person meeting location is at the Berkeley Way West building. And we have a room that's included in the where box. We also can meet via Zoom. And we are really flexible in this effort. So we want to make sure that we can provide services in the location that's best for you. So when you do make an appointment, if you could either put an X next to the I would like to meet in person or I would like to meet via Zoom, we will be able to communicate with you after you make your appointment to make sure that we either send you the Zoom link or confirm the location at which we will be meeting. And there also are just a few notes at the bottom of this appointment page that I wanted to point out. Like I said, every appointment is 20 minutes in length. Of course, you're more than welcome to sign up for a new slot after you meet with your peer support provider the first time. And you're more than welcome to mix and match peer support providers. We try to have a pretty wide range of availability for you to meet with us. But this allows us to try to reach as many students as we possibly can. And the other thing is that any appointments made after 5 p.m. the day before the meeting time will likely not be honored, only because we want to make sure that we're either present or able to meet with you. And so that's just a scheduling conflict that we've had, especially with COVID and being in person. And the only other thing is that if you're signing up for an in-person appointment, as we have been for being on campus, just make sure that you complete your COVID screener and you have the green badge before you come to campus. And like I said, the in-person appointments are held in our Berkeley Way West building. The room is 4242, but we would be able to meet you otherwise in another location if you can't get up to the 4th floor or into our area. So that is a very rough kind of outline of how you can set up an appointment with us. We also have an email address. So if you do have any questions, feel free to email us, and I can send that email address in the chat as well. We will kind of be communicating through that email address, not our own personal UC Berkeley ones. So with that, I will stop sharing my screen. I don't know if anyone has anything else to add.
I'll just add that if you're unsure, if like the topic or the concern you want to bring up or something that we can talk about, I just encourage you to still sign up for a meeting anyways. And like I said, we'll still kind of see what's happening and see what resources we can still plug you into. Or if this is an area that we haven't really tackled, then it'll also help us improve our services.
I'll add, can you all hear me? Sorry, hi everyone. Sorry, I'm coming in a little bit late. I'm also a peer support provider, and I just wanted to kind of echo what Michaela was saying. Like, if you're unsure if we can support you, then go ahead and log on and see and make an appointment. Some of the things that we've tackled already with students is like, how do I ask for more time for assignments when I've been sick, feeling uncomfortable talking to professors? How do I advocate for myself for more pay? Or for less hours and less work, or feeling like I'm working more than what I was agreed. So there's a range of things, of issues that we deal with that are specific and unique to graduate students. And as graduate students, like, we can help you the best way we can, or know how, or at least connect you with other resources. And we're also constantly like looking at issues that we see within the university and trying to take steps to fix those too, and use our connection with some of the staff to address those things as well. So it's not like if you come to us and we can't really fix it, we're going to try to, if it's like a systemic issue or something like that, or something about access, things like that. So yeah, just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Cynthia, and just encourage you all to participate. I think we also enjoy meeting with you all too. So yeah, so thank you all for your time.
And I want to thank all of you for being here. I know it's been at least for me, it's been a really hard semester. I know people are feeling a little tired and dragging toward the end. So please be well as you make that as you write those papers or take those exams or do whatever it is, or finish those chapters. And please know we're here to support you, and please sign up and visit our wonderful, I hope you can see how great our PSPs are. And I'm so grateful to all of you for being willing to be part of this inaugural year of this program. And I hope everyone has a wonderful break, that you can rest and rejuvenate. Thank you again to Peter and to Amy and to Kate, and again, all the PSPs for being here, and Larissa for doing such an admirable job moderating us. And again, thanks to all of you for joining, and be well, or as well as you can be in the midst of all the current craziness. Take care, everybody.